Hi, I'm Ivy Bottini. I have been an activist for women, lesbian, and gay people, equal rights, and safety for 50 years. I guess it was the late 70s. I joined the Stonewall Democratic Club. It was the first all gay and lesbian Democratic Club. And there was a young man that I met there. He said, "Hi, I'm Ken Schnorr." Ken was president at that time. And just about a year later, almost to the day, I got a phone call from his mother. She said, "Ivy, I don't know what's going on. My son is in the hospital and he's covered in bruises." And he died just about a week from the time he checked into the hospital. I just knew that something awful had happened to Ken, and it was not just going to happen to Ken. Lesbians and gay men up to that point really didn't work together. Lesbians thought the gay men were, sexist and misogynistic, which they were. And so lesbians really had their own stuff going on. And then when this whole thing hit, the lesbians started to come on board. As we made friends with gay men, and then they became sicker and sicker, it was the women that would take care of them. Because the gay men, they were all getting sick. The lesbians stepped up and they did 2 blood drives called Sisters for Brothers blood drive. A lot of lesbians gave blood in the name of the gay male community. Some doctors would not even meet to talk with gay men. They wouldn't treat gay men, and we created our own pool of doctors and dentists and psychologists. During those years, we literally took care of our own. And in the meantime, we're all fighting these propositions that they have coming at us, a lot of them. LaRouche is trying to put us in these concentration camps. It was Proposition 64 in 1986. And that was very worrisome because the general public was starting to, you could feel a sense of panic starting to build up. The early and mid-90s were just horrific with the deaths. Every day, myself and everybody else in the community would get up and see death again every day, and see men falling by the wayside, getting sick, and we felt so helpless. We didn't know how to stop it. There was no medication. But at the same time, you just had to keep getting up and putting one foot in front of the other and just doing what you could. And most of the time, you didn't know what the hell you were doing. A lot of the gay men who had worked for years and whatever money they had saved, and then they were sick and they'd gone from HIV to full-blown AIDS, and they figured, I'm going to die, and so they'd go on cruises, and they'd travel and just enjoy themselves because they figured they're never going to have another chance. And then the pharmaceuticals started to slow it down, and I remember going to a Stonewall dinner. There was a young man who was very, very active in the community, and he looked at me and he said, "I'm going to live." and I'm broke. I don't know what I'm going to do. It was like a bad joke. You know, you finally have something that will let people live, and they don't have the resources to do it. We learned some really good lessons. We learned that we cannot walk this alone. Men and women have to work together. They have to. We also learned that there are allies out there, that there are people who understand, who believe that we're born as we are. And we learned that you can't just win things with just grassroots or just money. You got to have both. I think the biggest thing we learned was that we can take care of ourselves if we have to.